Hi there, it's Father Barry, Day to Day with St. Joseph. Got my cue card again. So we're on the 23rd, Tuesday, March the 23rd. We're coming up on Holy Week this Sunday. But right now, we can talk about Bethlehem again, a little more on Bethlehem and Nazareth. And then we can add Jerusalem and Bethany and Bethphage into our discussion. And I'm not just going to talk about Bethlehem of Israel. I'm just going to have a little fun too and talk about other Bethlehems, other Nazareths, other Bethanys that have come here in the U.S. because Christians wanted to give a name that goes back to the Bible, to their city, to their place. Bethlehem is known because it is where Jesus lived for weeks or months before the Magi's visit, and then before them leaving in haste and going to Africa. So Bethlehem was the place where Joseph and Mary and Jesus are there just for a short time. And remember how Joseph was called there because of the census and his own family connection there. And Nazareth would be a place where the Holy Family lived a lot longer. And so when you go to the Holy Land and make your trip there, when you visit the places in Nazareth, you're somewhere where the Holy Family lived a long time, many years. And so you're thinking, so where was the carpenter's shop? Where did Joseph have his carpenter shop? Well, we're going to get to that. In America, some Christians decided to name places Nazareth and Bethlehem. Okay, so there's a Nazareth, Kentucky, and it's very close to Bardstown, where was one of the first 4 dioceses in the United States. And a lot of Marylander Catholics went out to Kentucky. And a religious order is there. The Sisters of Charity of Nazareth. So they're actually from this Nazareth. That's where their mother house is. I've never been there, but I know a lot of the sisters of that order. And I used to work with many of them. They were in St. Mary's County. Then there's Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and Nazareth. There's other Nazareths, but then Bethlehem, and they're really close to each other in Pennsylvania. I hear about 11 miles. And I hear that there was a pilgrimage started in the Christmas time, a peace walk from Nazareth to Bethlehem. And there's like a little highway, Route 191, that you'd have to walk along the side. And you would walk the 4 hours from one place to the other, singing Christmas carols and holding signs about peace. You want peace in the world. And so this is something I heard that happened up there. I don't know if it's still going on, but I know that for many years it did. It's up in Lehigh Valley, if you know where that is. And this, I said yesterday, was, or on Saturday, was a Moravian Christian founder's place. They came and they tried to start a version of Christianity there. And hence they picked the holy names. If you look around Pennsylvania, between the Amish, and the Mennonite, and the Catholics, and the Moravians and others, Lutherans, they pick the most holy names, I think, in any state in America. So Bethlehem and Nazareth, they pick. That area now is very much a growing area, Lehigh Valley. And there's a kind of a old-fashioned Christianity kind of in that area where some people have moved in on purpose. And there's a lot of things that they now have made as attractions for Christians to go up into that Dutch area. And I'll tell you about it. Now, Pennsylvania got all those Christian names because it was founded by a Christian. William Penn is a Christian, and the Quakers, you may know about them. Okay, and Maryland had our own story, and George Calvert. George Calvert was the founder, really, Lord Baltimore, Cecil Calvert, and George Calvert. And as I go on the tape, I'm going to mention the Carols too. But the Calvert is the black and gold on the flag of Maryland. And we're getting to Maryland Day. It's on the 25th of March. William Penn was a religious freedom man, and the state is named after him. And Maryland, too, is a religious freedom as well. And it's named after Lord Baltimore, or one of the Carols. And when they came here, they wanted to help the faith, land. And they're in that farm country, which is now called the Dutch land. They have lots of really old-fashioned practice Christians. And you still see the Amish buggies going by and the Amish working there. And they have their barns and their simple barn churches, and fascinating thing. But unfortunately, the area is so pretty and everything, with the Lehigh River going by, that the world is starting to encroach. Now, the Nazareth Speedway did get taken out. That was good. But unfortunately, now they have a casino in town. They also have a number of big musical venues, and that's good for some of the acts that come in there. But it then just brings a ton of people into that area and over to the Lancaster direction. So now there's all kinds of people traveling in there for a Christian experience. They have some really neat things up there, I have to say. But it's growing. It's a growing area. Lehigh, the university, is there, and there's some other small schools. I think DeSales is a small Catholic school up there. And so kind of an old-fashioned area. And I told you on Saturday the church is called Holy Family Parish. And it kind of serves that region just outside of Allentown. Okay, Bethlehem and Nazareth are kind of small parts of the outskirts of Allentown. So when we talk about Bethlehem and Jerusalem, and go back to the real one, I remember reading this blog from a deacon from St. Joseph's Parish in Moorhead, and they wanted to do, the footsteps of Joseph, footsteps of Jesus and Mary in the Holy Land. And he was in a marriage ministry, marriage support, co-support ministry. And so when he was writing about his experiences, he wrote this. He says, I saw Jesus in Nazareth. I saw Jesus in Cana. I saw Jesus in Bethlehem. I saw Jesus again in Jerusalem. And I was like, what, is this a visionary? And is he seeing the Holy Family like they did like in Knock, Ireland? Or is this an over-imaginative man? So it got me to read the article. And it says that he saw Jesus, not in appearances. He saw Jesus in the people around him. That it was one of the most enjoyable times in his life with other pilgrims who were Catholic married couples, and they were on a serious Holy Land pilgrimage, and the priest helped them have a very strong faith experience. And he said, as I traveled with this company of couples, I kept seeing Jesus radiating on their faces and their example in their lives. And I realized how much this vocation of marriage is so important. And we thought about the love on the faces of Mary to Joseph and Joseph to Mary. There's so many days in Bethlehem and Nazareth. Oh, in Bethlehem, there was also some concerned looks for sure, some worried, anxious looks. But they were trusting in God. And so Bethlehem and Nazareth, what else can we say about it? Well, I didn't get to the Jerusalem, Bethany, or Bethpage part of this, so I'll stop. But that's because I took a little route when talking about that man that said he met Jesus in the Holy Land. Well, he met the right kind of Jesus. He did. He met Jesus who's living in the heart of the church and living in couples and families. And Joseph is certainly a patron behind all of that. See you next time.